Now, a former aide to President Trump's national security advisor, John Bolton, is now trying to explain why John Bolton is continuing to stay in his position despite his, President Trump's presidency kind of falling apart. In an interview with the New Yorker, Mark Groombridge, which is the former aide, said that Bolton probably doesn't have a very high view of the president's intellect, which is why he feels he desperately needed to coordinate with the White House's national security policy. Quote, John is thinking, to the extent that I can modify or mollify the president's actions, I will. He is truly a patriot, but I wonder how he goes into work every day, because deep in his heart he believes the president is a moron. Here we go again. Well, look, obviously the president is a moron. That's fairly obvious. Everybody knows it. It's not a secret. It's not a secret in Washington. It's not a secret among Congress. Look, you should. I've talked about some of the stuff they say in Congress behind the scenes about President Trump. He's an idiot. That he's terrible. That he's destroying the Republican Party, et cetera, right? And that he's not very smart, not a very stable genius. So, look, again, not a shock, right? Now, apparently, according to this ex-aide, Bolton, that's why Bolton does something special to talk to the president. Says, quote, Bolton gets to the point very fast. He's very brief, and the president appreciates that. So you just got to be quick, right? Quicken with your point, because he has no attention span, and then, make your point real quick and then get out. And then make sure, of course, that you're maybe the last person in the room. Okay. All right. So the president has no attention span, and I've said that before. This is not a surprise, not a shock. Trump is dumb. And now what's interesting about this story, it's not that the president's dumb. It's about how Bolton views himself. Now, I've talked about John Bolton before. John Bolton is not a good guy. John Bolton never met a country, an Arab country in the Middle East, that he didn't want to bomb. Just saying, right? Now, he is, again, a religious zealot. So he's one of the people that thinks that we need to bomb Moron in order to help Israel, etc., create all these wars. And so, that leads to terrible, horrific policies. This is the guy who believes that he's one of the few adults in the room and that he's keeping Donald Trump from doing his worst impulses. We're relying on this guy to prevent Trump from doing even worse things than he is doing right now. We are freaking doomed. Doomed. I mean, this shows you that there are no adults left. And maybe there never were adults in the room. And to show you how dangerous this is and how much they actually do agree on things, even though apparently he thinks the president's a moron, one official mentioned how the two of them have a, quote, shared contempt for international treaties and institutions they believe constrain American power. So, just like, for example, John Kelly. John Kelly said a lot of the same things. Oh, I think the president's not a very smart person. I think he's wrong on these issues. I think he's bad for America. But I happen to agree with him on immigration. And so I'm going to stay as long as I'm going to stay. And I'm going to try to push these terrible policies. Again, if this is a representative of the kind of people that are holding Trump back, it's definitely an example of why we need to get this entire administration out. If, again, these are the adults in the room, I'd hate to see the child. Hey guys, hopefully you enjoyed that free video. Now I'm going to have to ask you a favor. Between the demonetization and the YouTube algorithm messing around with view counts, etc., we're having a hard time adjusting to the new YouTube reality, which is where you guys come in. See, we have a Patreon, patreon.com/TYTNation, set up to help us rely on you guys, the viewers, instead of big corporate ads. Look, you know the show. You know how I'm not in favor of big corporations anyway. So help us transition away from relying on the ad model to pay the bills and sign up to be a patron, patreon.com patreon.com/TYT Nation. That goes a long way to help us keep the lights on. And you guys will know that you're supporting independent progressive media.